2, 3, 4, 5.
And from you?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
One more time.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
All right.
So a lot of people that are, say, in the middle class have a lot to lose. They're worried about their mortgages or their car payments or their children's education. I didn't have to worry about any of that stuff, so I took a lot of risk. Now, I help people start businesses through my fund. And so I think I just had the ability to take risk.
You now evaluate so many entrepreneurs
Yeah.
yourself. So what do you look for? I mean, in addition to the business idea, would you look for a certain type of personality?
Yeah.
Do you look for someone who's in it for the right reasons? Like, what are the things you look for?
Passion, hunger, ambition, intelligence, obviously. A person who has really spent a lot of time trying to perfect something, and they just need the business acumen or perhaps the things that I've learned. So I look for people that are really experts in a particular area and they have such a passion for it, they're obsessed with it. And then I help them do all the other things that are very difficult, like raising money and so forth.
You also write in your book about the decision you made to leave college.
Yeah.
Tell me about that a little bit. You say you still have nightmares about that decision.
Yeah, that sucks. Being a continuation high school student, which is an alternative school, dropping out in the 9th grade, never passed a math test or was never able to have any English proficiency. I finally found my way into college as a result of affirmative action. So I was able to get into community college, and then from there I got into a 4-year.
Why affirmative action? Because you were
Because I was
below the poverty
I was a foster
line?
kid.
A foster kid, okay.
So the government was my parental guardian, so I was able to leverage that. And as a result, I got into a prestigious 4-year university. And the dean, Dr. Harry Domicone, told me, you need to leave school. Because I started recruiting the teachers for my new company, which was at that time called Sky Pipeline. And he said, you'll come back and you'll keynote at the graduating class someday. So I don't advise people to leave college unless they actually have a real running business. At that time, I was a software engineer. I started my company and I was maintaining a full course load. And so I had to choose something, and I chose to start my company.
So what's next? What's the next 5 years hold for you?
In the next 5 years, I'll make enough of an impact that I'll be able to spend, hopefully, the rest of my life giving away my money with the same intentionality that I did making it. I've committed 95% of my wealth to charity, because I really believe our society has given me all these resources. Like, I'm the luckiest man in the world to be in America at this time, at this place, with this type of disruption occurring. And I have a son, 7 years old, and I think that I want to teach him how to earn money. It's fun. I was reading the book, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, and I have a Ferrari. And my son got attached to that Ferrari, and so I sold the Ferrari because I wanted my son to understand that materialism is not the right route. You have to learn how to earn it, right?
What are challenges with your business right now?
Creating culture is the most difficult thing. I tend to be more of a strategic thinker, so I like to spend a lot of time alone. And obviously, as a leader, you got to be out there and you got to talk to people and you got to meet people and spend time with them. So I'm learning that, and I'm trying to use algorithms to help me get there. Like, for example, I monitor my communication frequency to various individuals and make sure that I'm adding, more people in depth and asking the right questions of those individuals, hiring people that put you in your strength zone and augment your weaknesses. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to do it analytically because I made a mistake. I hired 500 people in a year. I think it went from 80 employees to about 500, and my culture got away from me, and my structure got away from me. And next thing you know, I showed up to an office that I hated. I didn't want to come to work anymore in the very company that I own.
What advice would you give to someone who's in that situation now, a CEO? What do you do?
Tony Hsieh told me this. He said, slow down your growth at all costs, because growth covers mud. But as a startup entrepreneur, all you want is growth. When we got to 65 million a month in sales, I would hit refresh in my mobile app and I'd see $1,000 a minute come in, right? Like, that's the dream. That became the nightmare. When you're growing that fast, you start to think you walk on water, and next I'm buying a Challenger 300 jet. It's not a wise use of money.
And so you slow down the growth, and do you kind of discipline yourself in terms of what to do with your resources?
Yeah. It's real easy to hire people to spend your money. So when you're making 120 million, every executive in the world wants to come and get that job and then hire 20 people and hire 20 people and hire 20 people. Right now I'm using a much more disciplined process in my startups, much more measured, and I don't spend any, I have an anti-waste policy on the inside of the walls. So if I want to have a private plane ride, which I do on occasion, I spend that money outside the company, not inside the company. Because the company should be spending all of its resources on developing and adding value to its customers and to its employees. I mean, every penny of it, not on the C-suite.